Hello everyone. I hope all my dear students are doing good. I am Amit Ajmani, your educator, and I welcome you all to Sri Jendra Rank Zone classes. Now students, in this particular class, we are going to discuss about the questions related to the chapter Diversity in the Living Organisms. As we have completed the chapter in the previous class, so we will be discussing what are the all possible questions. I should not say what all the all possible questions. I should be rather what all the questions have been asked till now from this chapter. So I hope you are all ready with your pens and registers. Just because I already mentioned, if you remember in the previous lecture, that in this chapter you will find lot many new questions. So by the time you can see them on the screen and you are listening to the questions, if you find the questions are different, please note them down. Starting with the first question, which is the only phylum in the animal kingdom without any nerve cell? Is it Porifera, Annelida, Coelenterata, or Nematoda? It is Porifera. The option A is the right answer. Porifera is the only phylum in the animal kingdom without any nerve cell. Fine. So A, Porifera is the answer. Next question. Question number 2 says, which of the following animals belong to the phylum Mollusca? Is it devilfish, dogfish, jellyfish, or silverfish? Again, the answers, the examples, that is what are important. And among these, we didn't have the dogfish or the devilfish or the silverfish in the examples. So just make a note that it is the devilfish which does not actually relate to any other kingdom. It belongs to Mollusca. Fine. Devilfish A is the right answer. Next question. The hierarchical arrangement of taxonomic categories in descending order is. I hope you remember that I already told that this is an important question. You need to relate the hierarchy in the decreasing order, and this is what is being asked here. So let us see. Kingdom comes at the top, then comes the phylum or the division, then comes the class, then order, then family, then genus, and then species. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. If we try to relate the other options in this kingdom, division, phylum, order, family, genus, species, class is absent. In the next option, kingdom, then class, and then phylum, class should go here, phylum comes first, and division kingdom in itself is wrong. First of all comes the kingdom. So A will be the right answer to this question. Let us see the next question. The shape of the cocci bacteria is. Now this is a different question. Please mark it and note it down. The shape of the cocci bacteria is spherical. So spherical is the answer to this question. Spherical is the shape of the cocci bacteria. Let us come to the next question. A common characteristic of all vertebrates is. The first is presence of skull. No, skull is not present in all the vertebrates. It's the division of body into head, neck, trunk and tail. Yes, this is common. Presence of two pairs of functional appendages. No, body is covered with an exoskeleton. Not all. So B, the division of body into head, neck, trunk and tail. This is characteristic which is common to all the vertebrates. So B is the answer. Next question is, all chordates possess. Do all of them possess exoskeleton? No, we have just seen in the above question. Skull? No, we have just seen in the above question. Limbs? Maybe, but not exactly. It is the axial skeleton rod of notochord. Notochord is the perfect specific answer because all the chordates they will possess notochord at some stage of their life. So we will mark D. The presence of notochord is must in all chordates. Next question. A chordate character is gills. No, it is not present in mammals and reptiles and amphibians, etc. Spiracles. No, it is the post-anal tail. Yes, another form of notochord we can say. It is the post-anal tail. Every chordate in its embryonic stage has a post-anal tail. It is not the chitinous exoskeleton, it is the post-anal tail, which is a common character of all chordates. So C will be the answer. Let us see the next question. The canal system is a characteristic feature of. Now this canal system is present in which particular phylum? Let us see the options. Echinodermata, coelentrates, helminthus or the platyhelminthes, sponges. So which one is the correct answer? It is the helminthus. In helminthus, canal system is present. So B, helminthus is what you are going to mark for this question. Coming to the next question. The plant group that produces spores and embryo but lacks vascular tissue and seeds is. Now, when we are talking about spores and embryo, then in that case, we have got both Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. But the additional information is that it lacks vascular tissue. It lacks seeds. So now it cannot be Pteridophyta. It has to be Bryophyta. So Bryophyta C is the plant group that produces spores and embryo and it lacks vascular tissues. Clear? Let's see the next question. A plant having seeds but lacking flowers and fruits. The non-flowering plants are called gymnosperms. They have seeds, so they cannot be mosses, ferns or pteridophytes. They have to be phanerogames, and in phanerogames we have studied gymnosperm and angiosperm. Angiosperm are the flowering plants, but this is the plant lacking flowers and fruit, so gymnosperms is the right answer, D option. Next, the basic unit of classification is, I think everybody knows it, it is species. This is the basic unit of classification, and on the basis of this classification is done. Clear? Coming to the next question. Scientific study of diversity of organisms and their evolutionary relationship is. What is it called? It is called either morphology or taxonomy or anatomy or systematic. It is the systematic way of scientific study of diversity of organisms. Right? So D is the right answer. Coming to the next question. Chitin is present in the cell wall of. Let us see what are the four options given to us. Fungi, yeast, bacteria, algae. Now if you remember, it is the characteristic property of fungi. Chitin, a complex sugar, is present in the cell wall of fungi, not in bacteria, yeast or algae. Answer is fungi, A option. Fine. Next, the kingdom of prokaryotes. Which one is the kingdom of prokaryotes? Protista, fungi, monera or plantae? It is the simplest organisms. They are monera. Prokaryotic, unicellular are the monera. Protista, fungi, plantae, they are all eukaryotic. Fine. So monera, B option is the right answer. Next question. Single-celled eukaryotic are included in. We just studied above. I told you this answer in the previous question. It is the protista, which are eukaryotic after monera, and they are single-celled. Right? So A, protista are the single-celled eukaryote, After that, we have got multicellular eukaryotes, whether it is fungi, plantae or animalia. Clear? Coming to the next question. Which of the following are called vascular cryptogams? It is cryptograms, not cryptogams. So it is vascular, having vascular tissue. Cryptogams are further subdivided into three. They are bryophytes, pteridophytes and thallophytes. And among them, if we relate the table that we have done in the previous class, it is the pteridophytes which have specific particular vascular tissue for the conduction. Fine. The bryophytes don't have it. Algae don't belong to cryptogams. Gymnosperms don't even belong to cryptogams. They are phanerogams. So pteridophytes and bryophytes were the option from cryptogams, and among that, pteridophytes is the answer. They are the vascular cryptogams. Coming to the next question, gametophytic and sporophytic phases are independent in. Now this is a different question. If you feel like, you can note it down. It is found in pteridophytes. Gametophytic and sporophytic phase, they are independent in case of pteridophytes. So A, pteridophytes will be the answer to this question. Next, let us come to the next question. Canal system is present in which phylum among these? Annelida or Acanthocephala or Porifera or Echinodermata? Among these, canal system is present in Echinodermata, right? So Echinodermata, D will be the answer to this question number 18. Coming to the next question, budding is found in. Now this budding is found in, among these option given are Sycon, Fasciola, Hydra and Obella. I think you all remember in reproduction we have studied budding, a mode of asexual reproduction. It is found in Hydra and yeast. So out of the four options given, Hydra is the right answer. Budding, a mode of asexual reproduction, is found in Hydra, in which a bud is formed, then it gets detached and grows into a full-fledged Hydra. So B, Hydra is the answer. Next, which of the following phyla does not possess a coelom or a body cavity? Is it the Platyhelminthes, Annelida, Mollusca or Echinodermata? So the answer is Platyhelminthes. They do not have coelom. They are acoelomates. I highlighted this particular point especially among the 10 or 12 points. They are acoelomates having dorsiventrally flattened body. So Platyhelmintha does not contain a coelom out of these four given options. Next question. The female reproductive part of bryophyte is. Now this is a different question. I want you people to note it down. Female reproductive part of bryophytum is archegonium. I think for most of the students, all of these words are different. Is it antheridium or oogonium or sporangium? It is the archegonium, which is the female reproductive part of bryophyta. Clear? Next question. Which has vascular tissue? Now, vascular tissue is not present in bryophyta, but it is present in pteridophyta, gymnosperms as well as angiosperms. So, bryophyta is simple cancellation. Let's complete the question. Produces spores but does not have seeds. Now, if they are not having seeds, then they are cryptogamy. And now with the three left options, it is pteridophyta, which is a cryptogamy. Angiosperms and gymnosperms, they both are phanerogams. So pteridophyta B is what we are going to mark as the answer to this question. Clear? Next, fruits are not found in gymnosperm because They are not seedless. They are not pollinated. They have no ovary and fertilization does not take place. Now, if you remember, what exactly are fruits? Fruits are the transformation of ovary after fertilization. And since in gymnosperms they are non-flowering plants, they do not have flowers, they do not have reproductive organs, so they do not have any ovary which will be transformed into fruit. So the reason why gymnosperms don't have fruits is that they don't have any ovary. So C is the answer, that it is the absence of ovary because of which fruits are not found in gymnosperms. Right? Next question is, which of the following plants produces seed but not flower? We are talking about the gymnosperms. And out of these, maize, peepal, mint and pinus, deodar, these are the gymnosperms. They produce seed but they do not produce any flowers. So D, pinus is a gymnosperm and it is the answer to this question. Clear? Coming to the next question. Classification of sponges is primarily based on body organization, skeleton, body plan or canal system. It is the canal system by which the sponges are classified. So D is the answer to this question. Next, which of the following have highest number of species in nature? This was the most important question. Arthropoda. Arthropoda are the highest. It is the largest phylum. So let us see which of these belong to arthropods. Insects? Yes, they are arthropods. Angiosperms? They are Phanerogames plantae. Fungi? No. Birds under aves? No. Insects which belong to the arthropoda, they have the highest number of species in nature. Clear? Coming to the next question. Tube feet. Wow, this is what I specially marked. Very important question. Tube feet is the locomotory organ of Platyhelminthes, Mollusca, Echinodermata or Arthropoda. So who among you remembers exactly the answer to this question? Tube feet. What is the answer? The answer is Echinodermata. They have got special tube water driven system that is basically called tube feet, which helps in their locomotion. So the answer is Echinodermata. Next is, dry skin with scales or scutes without gland is a characteristic of. It is a characteristic of reptiles. Remember, we differentiated between amphibians and reptiles while we were having the class. The amphibians, they have got mucus glands because of which their skins were moist, but in case of reptiles, they had a dry skin. So mammals, obviously not. Birds are aves, not. Crocodile and snake, these two belong to reptiles, but we are talking about with scales or scutes. So it is not crocodile, it is the snake. Right? So snakes have dry skin with scales or scute. Coming to question number 29. Mosses occur in moist place because. Now this is also a different question. Let us first of all see the options. They occur in moist places because they cannot grow on land, their gamete fuses in water, they lack vascular tissue, or they lack root and stomata. Most of you must not be knowing the answer, so rather than guessing, please make a note of it that it is because their gamete fuses in water. That is why mosses occur in moist places. The next question, which of the following is a gymnosperm? The options given to us are mango, funaria, walnut and chilgoza. It is the chilgoza, which are the non-flowering plants. They are gymnosperms. So D, chilgoza. Mark it down. Next, pseudocoelum is not found in. It is found in Ascaris. Yes, it is found in Encyclostomata. Yes, it is not found in Fasciola. Fasciola, you don't find pseudocoelum. So the answer is C, Fasciola. Let us see the next question. Nephridia of earthworms are performing as functions as the nephridia from they perform which type of function? Are they the respiratory organs just like gills of prawn, or the respiration help trachea of insects, or the flame cells of planaria, or nematoblast of hydra? It is the flame cells of planaria. These are the excretory organs. The flame cells are the excretory organs. Same way in earthworm, nephridia are also the excretory organs of earthworm. So B, flame cells is the answer. Let's come to the next question. Different and separate different question. The number of heart chamber found in cockroach is. Options given to us are 4, 5 chamber hearts, 7 or 13 heart chambers. It is surprisingly 13 heart chambers which are found in cockroaches. D is the answer. Okay. Next, pearls are produced by the animals of phylum. Now there are two things that we need to relate. First of all, who actually produce pearls? They are the snails. And they belong to which phylum? Is it Annelid, Mollusca, Arthropoda or Echinodermata? It is the Mollusca to which they belong. C is the answer. Clear? Good question. Tube feet is the locomotory organ in. Now quite importantly, we have got exactly same question, tube feet, but there the choices were different. Just see this question number 27. Tube feet is the locomotory organ of. Now in this question, in choices we are given the various phylum, Platyhelminthes, Mollusca, Echinodermata and Arthropoda. But when we are talking about the same question down, here the option givens are different. Now they are not giving you the option of the phylum, they are giving you the actual organism. So we know that tube feet is found in Echinodermata, and out of starfish, silverfish, jellyfish and scoliodon, it is the starfish, Asterias, which are the Echinodermatas. Right? So A is the answer, and I hope you remember that I specially mentioned starfish is asked. Tube feet is important. You see, two questions have been asked based on tube feet. Let us come to the next question. In question number 36, the examiner is asking us that hotspots of biodiversity means. Four options are given to us. Are these the area of the earth that contain many endemic species? Are these the species serves as proxy for entire communities in particular areas, or species in a particular niche or area, or species diversity at particular areas? Hotspots refers to the area, not the species. So hotspot of diversity are the areas of the earth which have many varieties of flora and fauna. So A is the answer to this question. Coming to the next question, the science of naming organism is called. Is it identification or classification or nomenclature or taxonomy? We all know that it is nomenclature. Nomenclature is naming. And when we are naming the organisms, we follow the binomial nomenclature. And who gave that binomial nomenclature? It was given by the father of taxonomy, that was Carolus Linnaeus. Right? Coming to the next. The system of nomenclature evolved by Linnaeus is. We just gave the answer. It is the binomial nomenclature. It is not the mononomial. It is not vernacular. It is not polynomial. It is the binomial nomenclature. And the next question gives us the detail about the binomial nomenclature. The binomial nomenclature consists of two words. What are these two words? Genus and species, or order and family, or family and genus, or species and variety. We know that it is genus and species. These are the two words that are included while giving the binomial nomenclature of any organism. Genus name and species name, that is what we include. And how we include, we'll answer in the next question. In binomial name, which is written in capital? Is it the first alphabet of the generic or the genus name? All alphabets of generic word? First alphabet of specific or species name? All alphabets of specific word? It is the first alphabet of the genus. So first alphabet of the genus is written in capital as per binomial nomenclature. The second word is species and it will be starting with initial alphabet small. So A is the right answer. Right? Now in next question we can see Homo is the generic name and species is which name? It is the species name. The full name of humans is Homo sapiens. Right? It is not the human name or organism name or division name. It is the species to which we belong. So A is the correct answer that we are going to mark for this question. Let's come to the next question. Who has divided the prokaryota, that is Monera, into Archaea and Eubacteria? Option given to us are Ernest Haeckel, Carl Weiss, Copeland or Whittaker. We know that Haeckel and Whittaker, they gave the fly five kingdom classification. It was Carl Weiss who divided further the Monera into two groups, that is Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. So C is the answer. Coming to the next question. Phylogeny is study of. Now, is it development of an individual, or evolution of species, or embryonic development of an organ, or ecological adaptation of an organism? Phylogeny refers to the study of evolution of species. Right? So it is B, the evolution of species. Let us see the next question. The science of classification is called. Quite simple, I suppose everybody knows it. Demography, biology, taxonomy, or none of the above. It is taxonomy. Taxonomy is the science of classification, and Carolus Linnaeus, he was the father of taxonomy, who first of all classified all the organisms, grouped them under plant kingdom and animal kingdom. Right? Next, class is a category between. Now this is again that question based on the hierarchy of classification. Is it between phylum and order? Is it between order and family? Is it between kingdom and phylum? Or phylum and genus? Should be genus. So class comes between phylum and order. So A is the answer. You need to remember the classification in its descending order. So you will be able to attempt this question based on that knowledge. Next question is the basic unit of classification. This we have already done. It is the species, which is considered to be the basic unit of classification. And what is species? It is a group of animals which are similar enough in their features to breed and perpetuate among themselves. and that is the basic unit of classification of organisms. Coming the next question, the definition he is asking: a group of similar freely interbreeding organisms constitute a species. This is the actual definition of species. So A is the answer. Next question. A group of related genera with less number of similarities as compared to the genus and species constitute. Now when we actually related the whole of the hierarchy, again this question is related to the hierarchy, we saw that it was first of all order, then it was family, then it was genus, and then it was species. So species is very specific, then it is a bit generic, and above it is the family, right? So answer is family. Family is a group of related genera which has still less number of similarities as compared to genus and species, and lesser than that will be order. Then after that it will be class, and then after that it will be phyla or division, and then it will be kingdom. So the answer to this question 48 is C part, that is family. Next, genetic material of prokaryotes is called, is it nucleoid or plasmid or nucleolus or mesosome? Now this question needs your that memory of how do organisms reproduce. In that we saw that prokaryotes have a poorly defined nucleus containing only nucleic acids, and that was termed as nucleoid. So the genetic material of prokaryotes, that is called nucleoid. A is the answer. Fine. Let's see the next question. The ability of nitrogen fixation is found in. Now mark it up and note it down. It's a different question. Nitrogen fixation is the property of monorans only. Protista can't do it, so we will not find B and C appropriate. Fungi cannot do it. So Monera, they have the ability of nitrogen fixation. A is the answer. Right? Next question. I think it's quite simple. Everybody should know. Amoeba belongs to which kingdom? Is it Monera? Is it Protista or the fungi or Animalia? It is the Protista, to which amoeba belongs. So B, mark this answer. Next question. A plant body not differentiate into root, stem and leaves. That is termed as, it is the simplest cryptogamy. They are Thallophyta or the thallus. It's not mycelium, herb or hyphae, which are the other options. It belongs to the cryptogama, and their body is not differentiated at all. They are the thallus, Thallophyta. A is the right answer. Okay. Coming to the next, chlorophyll containing autotrophic thallophytes are called. Four options given to us are algae, fungi, lichens and bryophytes. It is basically the algae. The chlorophyll containing autotrophic thallophytes, they are the algae, cyanobacteria, blue-green algae. Fine. A is the option. Let's see next question. The compound plants composed of algae and fungi are called. Now these are the compound plants which are composed of algae and fungi. The options given to us are algae, which can't be because fungi has to be included. Pteridophytes, it can't be. Bryophytes, it can't be. It is actually the lichens. The symbiotic relationship, right? Fungi and algae, that is lichens. So mark D as the right answer. Let's see the next question. Which of the following group of plants is called vascular cryptogamy. This question in indirect way we have seen above also. Cryptogamy, we know that it is Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. And among these three cryptogams, only Pteridophyta have their specific system of conduction. They contain the vascular system. So it is our Pteridophyta, right? It is not Thallophyta, it is not Bryophyta. Angiosperm do have their vascular tissue, but we are just cancelling it because angiospermae, they are not the cryptogams. They are the phanerogams. So out of these Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta, it is the Pteridophyta which have their own vascular system for conduction of water, nutrients and all the material. Next, which of the following plant groups bear naked seeds? Now when we are talking about seeds, it cannot be Pteridophyta and Bryophyta because seeds, they are borne by only phanerogams and Pteridophyta and Bryophyta are cryptogams. So we are left with gymno and angiosperm, and their name itself means gymno means naked, spermicide, angio is covered, spermicide. So it is the naked seed gymnosperms, right? C is the option. Next question. Reproductive structures are flowers in gymnosperms. They are non-flowering plants. Pteridophytes, they are not even phanerogams. It is the angiosperms which are the flowering plants which contain reproductive structure called flowers. Right? So angiosperms, C is the answer. Coming to the next question. The phylum of sedentary animals is, noted down, this is a different question. The option given to us are mollusca, porifera, echinodermata, both A and B. Out of these, we will mark porifera because these porifera are non-motile. Sedentary means inactive, non-motile. So it is porifera. So the phylum of sedentary animals is porifera. They are non-mobile, non-motile. They remain attached to hard surfaces like rocks. Right? So C, porifera is the answer. Let's come to the next question. Tapeworm is a member of which phylum? Especially I told you that you need to learn the examples, and I mark this tapeworm to be very important example. The options given to us are Annelida, Nematoda, Porifera and Platyhelminthes. They belong to the phylum Platyhelminthes, flatworms, tapeworms. They all come under Platyhelminthes. So D is the correct answer. Next, elephantiasis disease. Remember something? We marked this question. Elephantiasis of human beings is caused by, it is caused by filarial worm and the name is Wuchereria. This we have done in this chapter also and in the chapter Why Do We Fall Ill also. It is Wuchereria that causes elephantiasis. It is a filarial worm. So out of the given options, Wuchereria, Enterobius, Ascaris and Encyclostoma, it is the Wuchereria which causes elephantiasis. Clear? Next question is, Truculum appeared for the first time in, all the things which I told you to be important while teaching. These are the reasons why I told you they are important. Questions have been asked mostly if we are talking about the characteristics, all those characteristics which I have marked, lot of questions have been asked out of these. So Truculum appeared for the first time in, let us see the options, Mollusca, Annelida, Nematoda and Arthropoda. It is the Annelida in which the Truculum, coelomic cavity, it appeared for the first time. and after that the coelomic cavity is present in all. Fine. Next, arthropods are characteristic by jointed legs. Perfectly, yes, this is our answer. But this is one of those questions in which it is proved that it is always better to read all the options. Just by looking at the first option, we should not mark it up. I especially told you lot many times that whenever we have got all the above or none of the above, we need to relate all the options, especially all of the above. In all the above, we need to relate all. For example, in this question, arthropods are characteristics by jointed legs. Yes. Jointed appendages. Yes. Chitinous exoskeleton. Again, yes. So all three yes means our answer is none of them. It is D. It is all the above. Right? Because arthropods, they all have jointed legs, jointed appendages and chitinous exoskeleton. Clear? Next, again told you many times, very important question. Starfish belongs to which phylum? Mollusca, Arthropoda, Coelenterata, and Echinodermata are the four options. And by now, I think we should have learned that starfishes, they belong to Echinodermata. And in this, we also related to other important things: spiny skinned organisms and radial symmetry. That is also important, right? And another thing important that we are going to see in the next question, echinoderms have water driven vascular system, canal system, jet propulsion, or book lungs. It is tube feet, their special peculiar water driven vascular system, due to which they are able to move. So echinoderms have water vascular system. A needs to be the answer in this question. Let's see the next question. Phylum Chordata is named after the occurrence of notochord or hollow dorsal nerve cord, or occurrence of postnatal tail, or presence of gill slits. I think everybody should know the answer. It is the notochord, which is present in all the organisms in any particular stage of their life, and that is why they are termed as chordates. So it is the notochord whose presence causes the name of the organisms to be phylum Chordata. A is the answer. Next question. In higher chordates, that is the vertebrata, this notochord is transformed into, four options given to us are cranium, which is of course not, limbs of course not, it is the vertebral column. And that is the main reason why the higher chordates which have this notochord converted into vertebral column, they are termed as vertebrata because of this vertebral column only. Right? Next question. Balanoglossus belongs to hemichordata. Hemi means half. They are not fully chordates. They are the lower chordates, protochordata. If you remember, I told you Balanoglossus is very important example. Balanoglossus as well as Herdimania. They both are important. And they form a connective link between, is it urochordates and cephalochordates, urochordates and vertebrates, cephalochordates and vertebrates, non-chordates and chordates? It is D. They form a connective link between non-chordates and chordates. That is why they are known as hemichordata, partially chordates. They lie in between the non-chordates and chordates. Fine. So the answer to this question, Balanoglossus belongs to hemichordates, which form a connecting link between. The answer is D. They form a connective link between non-chordates and chordates. Clear? Let's come to the next question. In the fishes, the heart is single chambered. Single chambered heart is not found in any of the organisms. Three chambered, two chambered, or four chambered. The answer is two chambered. Three chambered heart is found in amphibians and reptiles. Four chambered is found in the aves and mammals. And in Pisces, that is the fishes, two chambered heart is found. And why so? There is a reason to it, because fishes have gills. Why the heart is four chambered, three chambered, or two chambered? There are different chambers of the heart because these chambers help in separating the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. We have studied in respiration and transportation, where we have seen that oxygen rich blood and carbon dioxide rich blood, they have to be separated, right? Now different organisms have these different chambers. Reason you must know because it may be asked in some other question. Fishes have two chambered heart which only circulates the carbon dioxide rich or the deoxygenated blood, because for oxygenated blood they have their respiratory organs gills, which helps them to obtain the oxygen dissolved in water. Three chambered heart is present in amphibians and reptiles. Now they are cold blooded animals, and being cold blooded means that their body temperature is not fixed, so their energy requirements are comparatively lesser, and that is why they can tolerate the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood to certain level. That is why their heart is three chambered. But when we talk about the aves, that is the birds and mammals, their heart is four chambered because they are warm blooded animals. Their body temperature is fixed, and in order to maintain that fixed body temperature, lot of energy is utilized, and because of that energy requirement they cannot tolerate the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. That is why the aves and the mammals, the warm blooded animals having fixed body temperature, they have four chambered heart which separates the oxygenated blood with the deoxygenated blood. There is a distinct separation between the two. Oxygenated and deoxygenated, they are separated by these chambers of the heart. This all we have studied already in transportation, the double circulation, right? Coming to the next question. The skin is devoid of scales in cartilaginous fishes. The fishes, the Pisces, have scales. The bony fishes again, they have got scales. Reptiles have scales. It is the amphibians which don't have scales over their body, right? So answer is amphibians, D part. Out of these, amphibians are the ones which are devoid of scales. Fishes, that means Pisces, and reptiles, they all have scales on their body. Let us see the next question. A very long, sticky tongue and ability to change color occurs in which organism is able to do so? Is it garden lizard? Is it python? Is it chameleon or king cobra? Of course, we know it is chameleon. Chameleon has this long sticky tongue in order to catch its prey, and it has got that ability, wonderful ability to change color. So the answer is chameleon, P. Clear? So these are a few questions which have come in various examinations for which we are preparing, related to the chapter diversity in living organisms. Lot many questions were there which they were new to you, and I hope that as per my instructions all such questions you have noted down, and now you need to revise those questions again and again and keep them in mind. Fine. So this is all about diversity. I hope you all are now well versed with the questions related to the diversity, and whichever were new to you, now you have already got in your registers, you will work out on them. Clear? So start learning the diversity questions and keep revising this chapter, because this is one of those chapters which need constant revision. If you don't revise it for the next 20, 25, 30 days, almost everything is going to be skipped out of your mind, right? So these type of chapters, they need a bit of constant revision from time to time. So make sure that you do it, and whatever effort you have done in learning it, they should not go wasted just because of your casual attitude or carelessness. Fine, students. So time to end the class. In the next class, we'll be taking up a new chapter. By the time, revise your diversity. By the time, go through these questions again. By the time, read and learn all the examples of all the various phylum, so that they remain fresh in your mind. Okay, guys. So time to leave now. We'll meet you next in the next class with a new topic, with a new chapter. Till then, study hard. Take care of yourself and your health. Stay happy and stay healthy. Have a good time, guys. Bye, everyone.